Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, game changers. Let's make sure we get NC on here. But what if I told you you can build $1 million business and do it in 12 months? Would you believe me? Let's see if we can get NC on here. Can we get NC? Can we get NC? Can we get NC? Boom, there we go. We're back better than ever, greater than ever. We're blessed, happy to be here. Listen, family, what are we doing? Why are we here? Why do you keep coming back? We're building $1 million business and we're doing it in public. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Hart. In some circles, known as that healthcare guy, Army veteran, 6 years in the Army, 2 tours overseas, one during 9/11, pivoted, found healthcare, spent over 15 years in healthcare, rose through the ranks, became a technology healthcare executive, was part of an executive team that spearheaded and sold a $750 million technology company that happened in 2018. And so it was game changing. Like it was absolutely game changing. Let me get my other feed in here. Let me see. I think it's in there. So it's game changing. But the thing that was interesting the most was, definitely being in the book. Being in the executive room, and you realize, yeah, there's a lot of dope people in here, but they're no smarter than you, me, or anybody else, right? The difference is they allowed their visibility and strategy to get them in the room, and it made me realize something, that just because you have work ethic, just because you work hard, doesn't mean you're going to get that shot to be in that corner office. Just because you bust your ass doesn't mean you're not gonna get passed over for that promotion. Sometimes it's about networking, visibility, and creating space for the right opportunities to matriculate for us so we can get to that next level, right? So I decided in 2023, I was like, okay, this is dope and all, but what if I just bet on myself, right? Instead of working the 9 to 5, what if I just bet on myself and do my own thing? So in 2023, I became a full-time entrepreneur, started paying myself, right? And I was like, this is dope and all. I was being fulfilled, but then I realized I still wasn't living in my purpose yet. There was still more impact that needed to be done. There were still people that wasn't in the room. There's still people getting passed over for opportunities, right? So I was like, okay, how about we build this thing out in person? We just do it in person. We do it with the collective team of some random eyeballs tapping in. Whoever's interested in getting to their $1 million bag, how about we do that in person? So that's what we did. We kicked this thing off January the 11th, 2026. Here it is, April the 16th, 2026. I think this is week 14, episode 69 of a 52-week build. So we're super consistent about, the impact, the content, and the purpose, okay? So if it's your first time here, thank you for coming. If you're a returning viewer, you know what I'm going to say. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I appreciate you, family. I appreciate y'all been rocking with the boy every single day. And here's the thing, too. We got two big goals this year. Two big goals. One, we're actually going to build $1 million business, and we're going to do it this year. Some of you guys are not believers yet because you haven't seen the proof yet. But I'm about to break down the whole entire game. That's what this whole thing is about. Give you the moves, give you the playbook, give you the framework, give you the understanding, introduce you to some of the people that I'm working with behind the scenes so you too can get your $1 million bag. That's what this is about, right? So two big goals. One is actually generate $1 million here in 12 calendar months. The second big goal is we're building out a 50,000 member ecosystem inside the newsletter. Let me tell you, if this is your first time, if you're a returning viewer, give me a couple of minutes. I got to do my intro and then we're going to get into the topic. But there's so many people need to know why they're here. Let me tell you something, family. You cannot rely on algorithms. You cannot rely on social media. You cannot rely on all this stuff to push out your message when you're building something, whether it's your personal brand, whether it's your business. I don't care what you're building, but if you're relying on social media to be the vehicle for you, you may be in for a shock, right? So this is the importance of owning your audience. And I always tell people all the time, the biggest thing that I can tell you right now in the first 3 minutes of this episode is you want to own your audience. And what I mean by that, family, you want to set up a lead capture system. You want to set up a personal website. You want to start a newsletter. You want to do something like that where you can start collecting people's information. And what happens is now when you start pushing out content, we're no longer relying on the algorithms for our message to reach the people that we want to reach. They're already part of our network. Does that make sense? Right? I mean, am I preaching to somebody? Y'all don't understand this? Like, this is what we do. So you want to own your network. So why is the 50,000 member ecosystem so important for me? As I think about building out this wealth system, as I think about the impact that I'm trying to make, as I think about the people that I'm trying to help, right? Once I have my own network, I don't have to rely on social media anymore. Now I can just drop a message, and you know what? Guess what? Michelle's going to get it right off the bat. Martha's going to get it right off the bat. Rhonda's going to get it right off the bat. Anna's going to get it. Dr. Henry, new Dons, you're going to get it right off the bat. So here's the thing. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, man, I got floating banners. I got links in the bios. I got QR codes, or simply type newsletter, and I'll make sure you personally get your invite, because inside the newsletter is where you get that opportunity for some frameworks, some templates, maybe even some one-on-one time opportunities. And you're going to be amongst a community of builders just like yourself that's building out their $1 million brand. So thank you. I'm Patrick Hart. We're going to be streaming across Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. We got the whole family in one place. Like I always say, don't be a stranger. Tap in, drop your first name. Let me know what platform you're streaming from. Because eventually, family, we are actually going to spend some real dollars on our marketing campaign. And it's so important to know where you need to spend your money as you get to your $1 million brand. So let me pause there. That's just the opening. What is that? 6 minutes in? Just the opening. Good Lord. Pat, shut up. You talk too much, family. I know. Let me say hi to everybody. I see you, Sangita. Thank you for tapping in. You know, the eyesight is, you know, that LASIK is wearing off. Sangita. I got Aurelio. Thank you for tapping in. Michelle, Martha, Rhonda, Anna, Laura. I got my Instagram family on here as well. YouTube family's here. My LinkedIn family always shows up for me. So appreciate you guys rocking with your boy. What are we doing today? What is today's episode about? Today's episode 69. 69. Family, stop lying to yourself. You're the bottleneck. You are. Real talk. Listen, I'm going to probably step on some toes today, but you know me, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to give you the facts. And if the facts hurt your truth, you know what you can do. You can just drop off. I'm just simple as that, drop off. But some people need to hear this message today, because you're building something. You're building your personal brand. You're building your $1 million growth system. You're angling for that corner office. You're trying to get to that playbook that gives you freedom in your life. And when I talk about freedom, family, I see you, Robert. I see you, Alma. Thank you for tapping in. Family, when I talk about freedom, I'm not talking about we escaping the shackles. We're not talking about slavery days. I'm talking about freedom to do the things that you want to do in your life, to make decisions, to decide if you want to work the 9 to 5, to decide if you want to get into entrepreneurship, decide if you want to create that business, to decide if you want to lead with impact, to decide if you're going to set up that trust fund to leave behind with your family. We're talking about generational wealth here, right? Given the playbook, the frameworks, the system, so you too can get to your $1 million bag. So that's what we're talking about, family. Stop lying to yourself. You're the bottleneck. So let's get into today's talking points. Really quick, chat boxes are open. So you know you can drop comments as we work through this. The other thing too, these lives are for you. Even though I'm having a live, these lives are for you. We are building people's personal brand. We are building people's $1 million playbook. We are helping you get to that corner office. All that stuff is happening. But if there's something that's personally happened with you and or your business that's stopping you from getting to your $1 million bag, and you think it's going to be a great topic for us to bring up on these lives, make sure you slide in my DM or drop it in the chat box. And if it's something of value that a lot of people experience, I have to go through as well, I'll make sure to write a whole live around it. And we have some discussions around it as well. So episode 69, family, stop lying to yourself. You're the bottleneck. Let me ask you the question really quick. Let me ask you something. And you know, man, I'm going to keep it straight. I don't know any other way. I'm not a sugarcoater. So let me ask you something. How much longer are you going to blame everything else? How much longer? What are we blaming? We're blaming the market. We're blaming the timing. We're blaming the algorithm. We're blaming the lack of support. We're blaming the resources. We're blaming the economy. Family, how much longer are we going to blame everything else? Sometimes the thing that's slowing your growth down right now today, it's not out there. It's not outside. It's not around the corner. The thing that's preventing us today from getting to our $1 million bag, family, is you. Come on, man. I'm going to step on some toes today. I see you, Green. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you, family. It's you. Listen, that's hard for a lot of people to hear, because anytime you have to be judged, anytime the finger's pointed back at you, it doesn't feel comfortable. But that's the thing. When we talk about growth, family, growth is never comfortable. I don't know how many people have grown from something and it was comfortable. Come on, think about this. When you started riding a bike, how many times did you fall before you learned how to ride that bike? It's uncomfortable. You had to pick up some scars. Some things had to happen for you to learn that, you know what, I have to balance myself That's when you realize you were the bottleneck. You're like, you know what? I can't ride this bike until I learn how to balance myself. That's the same thing in our personal life and in our business. When we're trying to get to the next level, we're trying to get to that $1 million bag. You need to realize sometimes, family, you're just the bottleneck. I see you shed the pounds. Thanks for popping in. You're the bottleneck. And it's hard for people to hear this, but it's harder to stay stuck pretending it's something else. Here's the message. I'm about to give you the message. I'm going to church today. You can't fix a problem you refuse to name. You cannot do that. Let that sit for a second. I'm going to take a sip. You cannot fix a problem that you refuse to name. Oh, man. I didn't realize this live was going to be church. Oh, absolutely. Let that sit. Come on, man. Like a lot of us, family, a lot of people, you don't need a new strategy. What you need is you need new honesty. You need people around you that's actually going to tell you the truth. People that's not going to sugarcoat you and blow you up and make you feel like you're special, when in reality, your business is not growing, when in reality, your career's not going, when in reality, you haven't got to that next level, even though you got those aspirations to get to the next level. Reality, you need new people in your corner telling you know what, Patrick, this is not working. What you've been doing ain't right. And there's an opportunity to change it. This is how we're going to do it. So here's the promise. I see you, Q. Thanks for tapping in. Here's a promise. In this episode, we're going to get into one of the biggest truths builders avoid. The moment you realize you've become the bottleneck. And I'm not talking about self-hate here. We're not talking about beating yourself up. I'm talking about identifying the habits, the excuses, the behaviors, all the things that are slowing you down, your momentum, right? So by the end of this, you're going to understand 3 important things. I see you. Thanks for tapping in. 3 important things. Why progress often gets blocked internally first. 2, the subtle ways people sabotage your own growth. And then 3, how ownership creates speed again. So here's what I had to learn. Thanks, G, for tapping in. Thanks, Shep. Thanks. Here's what I had to learn. Sometimes the ceilings that you keep hitting, you create them. Man, come on now. Let me do a happy spin. Let me do a spin the other way as well. Because, man, I'm telling somebody something they ain't ready to hear yet. Sometimes the ceilings that we hit, you created them. That means you're the bottleneck, family. Come on. There's a pattern you need to catch, and I'm about to share it with you. Most people think that the bottleneck is external, meaning it's outside, meaning it's not me, meaning I can look at the bottleneck through my own eyes, right? That's what you think. But the only way you can really look at the bottleneck through your own eyes is if you actually pick up the mirror or you're looking at a selfie, you're like, damn, I'm the bottleneck. Real talk. Real talk. Most people think the bottleneck is external. Listen, here's what I be hearing. Oh, I need more money. Or, man, I need more followers. Or, I need a better network. Or, I need more time. Or, I need a lucky break, right? All of that. Sometimes the thing that truly matters, sometimes those things matter, right? I mean, a lot of those things really matter. I mean, if I'm going to keep it real, we want more money. We want more followers. We want a better network. We want the lucky break. Sometimes those things truly matter. But a lot of the times, family, the real bottlenecks looks like this. I'm about to share with you. You start overthinking every single move. Y'all drop a comment if you realize this was you. Oh, totally agree. Listen, someone from LinkedIn tapped in, and for whatever reason, StreamYard is not giving me your name, so I can't call out your name on air. But I just saw your comment. You said totally agree. Honesty is the foundation. I truly agree with you, family. After this live, I'll make sure you get your validation in the comments as well. But thank you for tapping in. With that being said, we are tapping in on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, as well as Instagram. We got the whole family in one place. This is what the bottleneck really looks like, family. You start overthinking every single move. Y'all let me know. You can drop your comments when you feel like I've gotten to you. You overthink every single move. You delay the uncomfortable actions. You need certainty before you get started. You keep starting, but you never actually finish. You protect your ego instead of getting feedback. You know what I mean by that? When you protect your ego instead of getting feedback, we do understand we're in the visibility era, right? And with that being said, if we're trying to grow anything now, your personal brand, you're trying to grow your career, you're trying to grow your business, we have to get visible. And a lot of us, we've been holding off on doing things because we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of what people are going to think when we actually express ourselves, when we put ourselves out there, when we actually voice ourselves. We're afraid of that. That's what your ego is talking about, right? You're protecting your ego instead of getting feedback. The only way you get feedback is you actually do some shit And then you allow some people to comment on that shit you've been doing. And then you realize, man, maybe I got to tweak this. Maybe I got to change this. Maybe I got to do this, right? That's where your growth happens, through that feedback. So if we're trying to get to that corner office, we're trying to get to the next level, eventually you're going to need that feedback. A lot of us, we're shying away from feedback. We don't want to get it, but yet we still want to grow. Where they do that at? I'm not sure. That's the real slowdown right there. From the outside, everything looks like you're doing the right stuff. You look active, right? But inside the machine, talking about you, everything is clogged, family. Slow decisions, slow execution, slow learning. That's how progress actually starts to die. It's not through the failure, it's through the friction. Man, come on now. I'm gonna take another sip. I see more and more people coming in. Thank you, Derek. I see you, Real Deal. I see you, Mitch, Hawk 444. Go Get Better. Go Getter 3. I see you, GE, G, Vaughn, Q, Forever Untamed. Then I got my LinkedIn family, YouTube, TikTok, as well as Instagram. Everybody's in one place. All right. I got it's 12:16. So let me run through this agenda really quick. Know this, the comment sections are open. You can drop comments as I work through this. The other thing too is, if topics that are preventing you from getting to your $1 million bag, slide in my DMs, let me know. We may write a whole live around it. We may even do a collaboration around it so we can have some discussions if you're not afraid to get on camera. But those are opportunities as well. Man, let me get honest. I have to check myself, right? There were moments where I said I needed more information. These are stuff that we start telling ourselves that's preventing us from getting to that next level. The moments where I said, man, I just needed a little bit more information, when what I really needed, you know what I really needed? I just needed some courage. Man, if I was watching Wizard of Oz and I followed the yellow brick road and we found old boy behind the curtain, the wizard behind the curtain, and the only thing I wanted to ask for, man, can I get a little bit more courage, Mr. Wizard? That's the only thing we need. We just need a little bit of courage. Moments when I said, man, I needed a better plan. You ever heard yourself saying that? I see you, Alexander. Thanks for tapping in. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So moments when I said that I needed a better plan, when in reality, you know what I really needed? I just needed to move. Real talk. I just needed to move. There's moments where I started blaming timing for things, right? When the truth was, I was dragging my feet the whole time. That kind of honesty, it changes everything. Once you start getting honest with yourself, family, you realize how much you've become the bottleneck in your own success, right? Because excuses, they feel productive. It's easy to pass the buck as long as we're not pointing the finger to yourself, but it's expensive, family. Learning is expensive, especially if you delay your learning, right? So I have to ask myself, where am I the reason that this thing is actually slowing down? And that question will expose you once you start asking, and then you seek to actually get understanding. The question will expose you. Some of us, we're praying for growth while defending the habits that we're doing behind the scenes that's actually blocking our growth. Come on, man. Let me do a spin again. I wasn't even ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. Let me say that again. Some of us were praying for growth while defending the habits that are actually blocking our growth. Man, I'm about to leave some people on this one. Listen, I'm going to lose viewers. I'm going to lose comments. I'm going to lose a little bit of everything. And I realize that because people don't like the truth anymore, right? Truth hurts. Truth exposes things. Truth realizes that we're the bottleneck in our own system. Let me show you the shift that I made. Like, I had to stop searching outside first, meaning looking outside the window, seeing where my growth wasn't coming from. I'm looking at everything else, but looking at myself, right? I had to stop searching outside first. And then I had to start auditing myself inside first. I see you, Ellie. Thanks for tapping in. 3 simple shifts, okay? 1, shorten the delay between knowing and doing. That's number 1. You want to shorten the delay between knowing and doing. If you already know what needs to happen, family, why hasn't it already happened? That's the gap. That gap right there matters. How many people, they know what they should be doing, but they're stuck in that gap between knowing and actually executing. So you're right there in the middle. Man, I know I need to do this. I know, and honestly, I've watched enough YouTube videos on it, so I know how to do it, but I just haven't done it. That's the gap. You're stuck right there. Number 2, stop needing perfect conditions. Perfect timing is a myth, family. There's no perfect timing. Momentum gets built in imperfect seasons. Move anyway. You ever heard the term that Summer bodies get built in the winter. Y'all heard that before? Summer bodies get built in the winter. You start working out in the winter so you can be summer fine, right? That's the same thing, right? In the winter, it's imperfect seasons. It's too freaking cold to be running outside. It's too freaking cold to be pumping that iron. But we realize, man, if I want that body, if I want to lose that 15 pounds, if I want to get sculpted, if I just want to look right on the beach, I got to start working out then. That's the same thing with building your career. Same thing with building your business. Your summer body is built in the winter. We got to get going, family. Number 3, detach ego from your results, okay? Some people stay stuck because they can't risk looking wrong. Man, come on now. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. I've already said too much. Some people stay stuck because they can't risk looking wrong. So they never take enough shots to actually grow, right? Mistakes are tuition, family. Pay it and keep moving, period. Like, go get the tuition. Go make the mistakes. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how you get to that corner office. Actually find your voice. And then you're going to find out, guess what? Now you get more opportunities because people respect when you actually speak up. Now, listen, sometimes people speak up and their tone is all wrong. Their approach is all wrong. And so we're not talking about challenging people in such a way that, you know, people find you threatening. We're talking about finding your voice and then speaking tactfully so people can and you can start articulating where you would like to take your career, where you want to get your business to go, so people can not only understand you, but now they're more willing to lean in and help you, collaborate with you like that. So mistakes are the tuition. Keep paying it and moving forward. That shift did change everything for me. Once I stopped protecting my image, right? Start worrying about who I used to be, all the shit that I used to accomplish, all the stuff that I did, being a former executive, entrepreneur, being in NBC News, doing all this stuff. Once I got past my ego and said, you know what, that was great. That was a version of me that, you know, that was weeks ago, months ago, years ago, whatever. I can actually improve my outcomes. Some of us, we're so tied to the old version of ourselves. We're so tied to, you know, our environment that we're afraid to get out of it because we're afraid of success, not failure, success. Most people are afraid of success. Everybody says they want it, but they're afraid to get it. They're afraid of the shit that you got to go through to become that successful version of yourself. You're afraid of leaving who you used to be in order to become the person you need to be. I dropped my mouse, family, so I have to come back. I'm back. Let me see if my mouse still works. So let me land this plane. Let me get us out of here because I preached today. And I wasn't supposed to preach, but man, I got excited about it. So here's the thing. Here's what this build has reinforced me. And remember, if this is your first time here, why are we here? We're building $1 million business and we're doing it in public. This is week 14, episode 69 of a 52-week build, meaning we do these lives every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time. They're 30 minutes or less, right? That means the other 68 episodes, you can find them on my YouTube page. I created a playlist called Building $1 Million Business. And or if you follow me on LinkedIn, underneath my events tab, you can find the other 68 episodes as well. You want to tap into those while they're free. I'm actually working on a branding and visibility $1 million playbook that should be available within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to start sharing that with you guys, right? But at that point, when that thing is available, all these other lives that I've been doing, we'll probably lock those down so we can actually start monetizing because we got to get to our $1 million bag. And the other thing too is I promise you, I'm going to help you get to your $1 million bag as well. So that's why I created that. I put it together in a concise little package. It's a 3 to 4 hour course that I put together, and it's a game changer. I guarantee you're going to absolutely love it. But anyway, we'll get more to that when that baby's available. So here's what this build is reinforcing. Resources absolutely help. Sure, right? Tools absolutely matter. Yes, they do. Timing can influence your outcomes. True. But ownership speeds everything up, family. When you stop lying about what's really in your way, you get your power back. Real talk. When you stop lying about what's in your way, you get your power back. You're not allowing that thing that's preventing you from growth from eating you from the inside, because that's what it does. It eats you from the inside, it zaps your confidence, it takes away your ability to get moving forward, all because that ego is preventing you from just let go of that person who you used to be and become the person who you want to be, right? You get your power back. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop stalling. And that's where your momentum returns. Sometimes the biggest breakthrough, family, for you is admitting that you are the breakdown. Here's where we're going to go next. I'm going to close this thing out. Episode 70. We're going to get into consistency. I'm not talking about fake consistency. I'm not talking about just checking boxes type consistency. Oh, check. Oh, I did that consistency. I'm talking about why some people keep showing up for years, year after year after year, week after week after week, month after month after month, and still nothing is moving in your business, in your life. You haven't got to that next level. Family, thank y'all for rocking with your boy. I'm Patrick Hart, some circles known as that healthcare guy. Make sure y'all give me a follow. I don't even care what platform you follow me on, right? Because love is love, and I realize that, right? So follow me wherever you want to follow me. It's knock on wood, Lord's willing. I'll be here tomorrow, as long as I get my health and strength. Same time, same place. Make sure you invite other like-minded individuals like yourself. All those game changers, those hustlers, those entrepreneurs, those corporate executives, those people who are looking for that playbook, for the framework to not only get their freedom, but to earn their $1 million wealth system. And to always, family, thank you for rocking with your boy. I'll see you tomorrow.